Hey, what's up? Macrolev here, and I'm going to show you how I made a remix of Jane Fonda by Davis. Very talented guy. Go and check him out. I'm gonna tag him below the video, so yeah, definitely check him out. While you're there, check out the original track to have a better idea what sounds I've used in making of that remix. So let's get on. I was given loads of stems, for example this vocal.
I like Jane Fonda.
Davis sent me a bunch of stems that looked like this. Essentially what I did, I imported them in Ableton and then listened through each of the stems, picked sounds that I liked, obviously vocal being one of them, and I did a lot of chopping of the vocal and like cleaning up. But that's about it. Since the vocal was recorded so well, it didn't need any processing.
'Cause you're stunning. 'Cause you're stunning. 'Cause you're stunning.
High pitched and normal pitch. So essentially a stack of voices. Once I got samples, I've started laying out the idea. The rhythm first, which started from the kick. Classic. my kick that I use pretty much everywhere. A little bit of processing on that kick. Then the bass line, made it in operator. Really love this synth because it's easy to use and it outputs just pure fire. The track is in A minor, I believe. This is the notes. So the bassline processing is as follows. I use LFO tool as a sidechain device a lot. So a little bit of EQ, a little bit of compression, nothing too crazy. What gives the character to the bass and the kick is this. This is a beast. I pretty much always group kick and bass because they essentially in the same frequency range, and I process them with this compressor / limiter by UAD. So that's the low group soloed without this compressor, and with it. Subtle, but it glues the sound together, plus it adds character. A little bit of that crunch, I guess. Once I got kick and bass going on, I've added a clap. Then hi-hats. Quite like this hi-hat sound. A little bit of compression, got rid of some resonant frequencies. Have a listen without. Sometimes it's quite good to actually keep those. It all depends from the actual track you're working on. In this particular case I didn't like them, so I removed them. Bit of transient shaper on attack. Gives that little bit of attack. Another compressor. And a limiter on top. So if you would get rid of all these, So then this is just another layer of a hi-hat and another one. It's just more like a low end of hi-hat frequency, I guess, if you can call it that. Then 16th, little bit of groove with MIDI as well as with this randomizer. It just gives that little bit extra. Then EQing, compressor, limiter, sidechain. There's 2 layers of 16th closed hi-hats. They occupy different frequencies in the spectrum. Tambourine. Some snare. Some rims. Claps. Closed hi-hat. Kind of goes up and down. Low snare, hardly any processing. Some weird noise that I've resampled. And a little bit of processing. Quite like this effects unit, I guess, because there's variety of stuff in here. You got distortion, you got filter, you got compressor, EQ, flanger, bandpass filter. Yeah, quite cool. Any plugin you can give me that has randomized function in it, I'm having that. So the next thing is 909 hat, 909 snare, and a bunch of rides. With loads of widening. Again, a little bit of EQ, a little bit of compression. This is probably the most used plugins in my arsenal, is compressor and EQ. So the whole drum section would sound like this. High frequencies. I group all the high frequency elements in a high frequency group, and then I process a little bit of distortion, compression, more compression, and then quite cool things going on here in Echo plugin. So I modulate dry wet as well as I unsynced the time and modulate it so it's free running in milliseconds. It modulates throughout this main breakdown. Creating this like weird little effect that worked quite well, I think, in the context of the track. Once I've got groove going on, I've added vocal.
Darling, and you'll find like Jane Fonda. If you're going, well, I'll take you in my Honda. Sure, I'm a pretty boy, but dang it, 'cause you're stunning, 'cause you're stunning.
Yeah, chopped it up. As you can see, there's literally no processing on any of the vocal, because I thought it was recorded really well and processed really well. Therefore, it didn't require anything. Literally, I've added a little bit of delay and reverb, and that's about it. So after vocal went in, I started adding these like little bits and pieces. For example, this. As you can see, it's all resampled. So I always create this extra channel, a resampling channel essentially. So you create an audio channel, choose this resampling mode, and then arm it. Anything you fit through it will record. So it records whatever it's been played through the master. You can choose any channel, individual channel if you like, but I choose master and then just solo the channel I want to resample. What I do basically, I select a group, whether it be a vocal or a low group or a high group, and then I solo the channel or the group I want to resample, and I drop a bunch of plugins. This one, for example, is called Fracture. It's free plugin, by the way, and it's got this question mark button. So I would play this sound and I would record these crazy noises. I would just literally press record. I would record throughout the whole song from beginning till the end, and I would go and pick and choose out of this mad noises whatever I like, whatever fits the track. That way I'm always in key, sort of. I'm always like organically creating sounds from the sounds that I already have in my project that I think already fit together really well. This is just a small chunk of a sound that I picked out from the large recording. Then there's another sound, just little weird little noises to fill out the track and add interest. That is the part of the original. Another part of the original is them pads. Only been played in the breakdown, but I quite liked the way they sounded. Synth blocks, also part of the original. This is another resampling sort of thing, and then you can see it's been like chopped up and picked and selected all these like small little sounds and made a little groove out of it. This is another resampled sound, little FM based sound, probably a preset, preset from a pack, been a little bit processed, we've come off that. Small percussion and this extra acid palm. I guess that was the preset again. Small little noise. Moving on to effects. Snare roll. Good old basic snare roll. Works every time. Reversed hi-hat being fed through the reverb. Small little noise sound. Noise from a tape saturation plugin. Sweeps, I think they are the part of stems as well. And that's it. I mean, this is all it is. I can probably show you the master as well. Cut low and high. A little bit of compressor. This thing just massive, pretty much always in my master. Have a listen with and without. Just dipping down a little bit of around 300 hertz and then raising 10k, also tiny bit. Oh yeah, and little boost around 60 hertz for the bass, and that's all it does. Then sausage fattener on the master, just like dropped it in there. as it is. Didn't change anything, literally, and it already colors the sound. If you listen in headphones, you can even hear that it's not just coloring the sound, also it adds like brightness and width to the sound. It kind of adds a little bit of like width, stereo width to the sound. Yeah, I just slapped it in and it worked. I liked the way it sounded, just left it there. This thing I quite like to do is on the master to make a drop more impactful. I drop in a utility and I automate the gain. From the beginning of the breakdown, it drops by around 3 dB. By the time the drop come in, it would go back to 0. So watch this gain. And then the last thing in the mastering chain is a maximizer. And that is it. This is the track. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you got any questions. As always, it's been a pleasure to show you what's going on behind the scenes. Yeah. Stay safe. Peace out.